Norwegian Epic. Is it good? And what's it like inside? A lot to love, but right for you? Watch this and then decide. Welcome back to My Travel Window, where we help you travel as far as you can while you can. Today's topic is the Norwegian Epic, perhaps the most unique ship in the NCL fleet. For the first time ever, my wife and I took back-to-back-to-back Norwegian cruises, so we spent 31 days on this ship. We're making this video so you can decide if this ship would be a good choice for you. Love number one, the itinerary. Norwegian Epic has put together a great Mediterranean itinerary. The first leg that we did, which was from Haifa to Rome, had one sea day. 11 days, one sea day. It's one of the most port-intensive trips we've ever seen. The second leg, from Rome to Portugal, had scheduled also only one sea day. So that means 22 nights on the ship and only 2 sea days. Besides that, they were quality stops. Of the 20 stops, there was only one which was a tender stop where you had to take a shuttle boat. We also took a number of ship excursions, and those excursions also all delivered as they promised. So kudos for the itinerary. Love number two, the food. There are 2 main dining rooms on the ship, and we sampled both. They have the same menu each day, but they have different ambiance to the 2 places. And we've cruised on 5 different cruise lines. None of them have food that was any better in the main dining room than what we had on the Norwegian Epic. It was really good. In addition to the main dining rooms, they have an excellent buffet. This one has in the front, and it's the place where you have the best view out the front of the ship. And the food there was excellent. In addition to those, there are perhaps a dozen other food venues on the ship, half of them complimentary and another half that are specialty dining. We sampled 2 of the specialty dining restaurants. We had our packages, we had 4 free dining, so we sampled 2. We liked them so well we went back to those 2. But if you like French, if you like Italian, if you like Asian, if you like Brazilian steakhouse, if you like traditional American steakhouse, any of those things, they've got you covered on the ship. And they're excellent. Side note, they also have both soft serve ice cream and regular scoop ice cream that are free on the ship. Our last 2 cruise lines did not have that. In addition to the quality of food, I give kudos to Norwegian for their accessibility. They call it freestyle dining. There are no formal nights. And there are no set dining times. You can go when you want and wherever you want on the ship. And if only 2 people are dining on the 3 cruises that we were on, no reservations were necessary. We just walk up and say, we'd like to eat now. Bottom line, we were on this ship for 31 days, and we ate fabulously well for 31 days. We never had a bad meal on the ship, and we were nowhere near running out of options after a month, and I give the food an A+. Love number 3, service. Cruise ships are noted for having outstanding service staff, and we were consistently impressed. Our room attendants were awesome, the restaurant hosts and wait staff were excellent. We visited the pub for about the 3rd consecutive day. The waiter came up and said, "Would you like the same thing that you had yesterday?" and proceeded to tell us what we had yesterday. They were very attentive, and we appreciate it. I was terrifically impressed. Love number 4, space. We had 2 different types of rooms on the trip. On our first 2 legs, we had a deluxe balcony, and on the last leg of the trip, we had a regular balcony. In both cases, we were impressed with the space. Showers and toilet areas were a nice size. The balconies were a little bit deeper than some that we had on recent trips, and there was an amazing amount of storage space. You can see here just a sample of what was there. Love number 5, entertainment, especially music. Some entertainment comes down to taste. We know what we like and we know what we probably will not like. And in 31 days we tried everything that we thought we would like. One act we found was a little underwhelming, but the rest of them were all excellent, and especially the music venues. They had one act said might not be appropriate because of language and content for young children or those easily offended. We felt we would probably be in that second category, so we decided against that. We saw the majority of the musical acts. There was a female singer, there was a solo male singer, there was a violinist, there were dueling pianos, and of course there's the signature act of the ship, which is the Epic Beatles, which covers in different shows the different phases of the Beatles' career. We were very impressed with it. My only complaint about music is that outside of the theater, all of the other venues are tight for the number of people who attend, and they generally start late, at least 9 o'clock, which for us was a little difficult. I give the entertainment an A-. Those of you who like dance-oriented stage productions and are not easily offended will probably rate it higher than that. If you've been on the Epic, I'd be interested to know if you agree with all of these likes that I just listed, or if you have any questions. Either way, let me know in the comments below, and we can have a good dialogue about that. Before I get to those, let me invite you to subscribe to our channel. It doesn't cost anything. If you hit the notification bell, it will notify you of when next videos are available. And what it does is tells YouTube that you like our channel. It gets our channel out to other people, and it also gives recommendations to you of channels that are like us. So thank you in advance. We really appreciate it. Hate number 1, the quirky ship design. There are several things that are very unique about the Epic. First of all, for a big ship, it only has 2 elevators instead of 3. The center cabin section of the ship has a number of solo cabins. It was designed to create a solo community on the ship. So if you're a solo traveler, that's a particular attractive thing. If you're not a solo traveler, what it means was they took out the central elevator in order to make this work. So you come either the front or rear elevators, 2 elevators instead of 3. The second thing that it means is the center section, where there's normally an atrium on many ships. This is not a real atrium. What it has is, it does have a large movie screen in the middle of it, but it's like having an obstructed view cabin. There are many seats within that area which do not give you a full view of the screen or of the activities that are going on in the atrium. One of the things that everyone will point out on the ship are the curved cabins. Each of the rooms has curved walls, so like an eye. It's larger in the center and narrower at the 2 ends, and that's where the bed will be. So it does take a little getting used to. The other thing that you will find people comment on is the bathroom design. On one side of the room will be the toilet, on the other side of the room will be the shower, and they will both be behind semi-private glass. It does not give either the sound or visual privacy that many people like in a bathroom. It does have a curtain that you can separate from the rest of the room, but it's a little awkward to use. And then the sink is out in the room. Another design feature of the ship is the casino dominance. In floor 6, more than half the floor is devoted to the casino, and in order to get to floor 6 from the back of the ship, from the elevators in the back, or to get to floor 5, which does not have elevator access but has an escalator access, you have to walk through the casino. And it is, for us, we did not care for that. We like ships where it's optional to have to walk through the casino. The last space consideration is on this ship there is one large venue, the theater, for musical acts or other things. The other venues are all, in my mind, too small and too cramped for the music venue, the music that happened within them. Second hate, the pricing for add-on services. Wi-Fi on the ship is expensive. You have a basic Wi-Fi that you can use for pretty much email and to check your Facebook page maybe, and but it's a metered Wi-Fi measured in minutes. And if you want more Wi-Fi, it's expensive and you cannot buy it by the day. Similarly, the coffee package is terrifically expensive. There is one movie that shows on a movie channel, and there's one movie that shows on a TV channel. If you want to go to any other movie, which they have a large selection of movies to choose from, they're all $10 a piece. There's a charge to be able to communicate with each other on the ship. Some cruise ships have that, some have it for free. This one does have a charge. There's also a 20% automatic gratuity for any service that you purchase on the ship. In all, it does feel like a little bit of nickel and dime kind of pricing process. Number 3, audiovisual issues, and I'm going to just cite 2 of them. First one is within your stateroom, there isn't enough light. If you're in a balcony and you can open the window and have outside light, it's good, but several people on the ship commented, as we did, that there's not enough light in the room otherwise. The second issue is the sound system, particularly in the atrium area. The sound system, the speakers, are not well designed for that function.
What the next activity you see?
Number 4, organization around mass gathering points. This is the first time Norwegian has done a turnaround in Haifa, and it was an issue. We wound up standing on our feet in line for about 3.5 hours by showing up when they told us we could show up. And part of that is the Israelis changing the rules just shortly before sailing, but part of it is also the lack of chair space and the logistics to be able to sit down while you work through the lines and the process. So this was not true in the other 2 ports, and it's something Norwegian's going to have to address. Similar confusion happened at other mass gatherings. When they did passport collection, for example, we did shore excursions. That process was needlessly more complicated than it needed to be, and it's something that they can take an example from other ships. Number 5, isolation. By that I mean, one of our favorite things on a cruise ship is the ability to go to dinner in one of the main dining rooms and walk up and say, we would like to share a table with someone else and meet someone new for the night. If you're a person that doesn't like that, this isn't for you. But we went in the first night, said we would like to dine with someone else, and the hostess looked at us like we were crazy, seated us by ourselves, and over the course of 31 days, we were never asked and never had the opportunity to sit with someone else unless we had prearranged it with them before the time. So I'm not sure if this is a function of this ship, if it's a function of the post-COVID era, or it's a Norwegian situation, because this is our first Norwegian sailing. But I can say it's one of the things that we didn't like on the ship. So be prepared for that. So what's our summary? There is a lot to like about the Norwegian Epic. If we had known the things that we know now before we took the ship, would we take it? Absolutely. Will we take it again? We have so many ships we'd like to take. I'd put it in line, and if my travel window lasts long enough, we'll go again. But to me, the Norwegian Epic is kind of like your nerdy uncle. It's just a little bit awkward. He's likable, but he's not lovable, if that makes any sense. Next time, we're going to talk about port stops and the neat things that we saw while we were on our trip. Until then, safe travels.